Hello, I'm Amy the Bunny Lady, and this is my partner Elusive, Ellie for short. High five. Just one. There you go, there you go. And today we're going to go into the nitty-gritty details about how to make sure your rabbit is on a healthy and balanced diet. And if you're new to my channel, welcome. We go over details about how to make sure you have a happy and healthy bunny in your home. So if you are interested in that kind of content, then go ahead and hit that subscription button and the little notification bell so that you don't miss any of my weekly videos. Okay, we're gonna get into the weeds today and get into all of the details that you need to know to make sure that your rabbit specifically, is on a healthy diet. So we'll go over all the different types of food you should be feeding your rabbit and even how much they should be eating based on their weight. So let's just start off with a broad overview of what does a healthy and balanced diet look like. Most of your rabbit's diet, about 80% of what they eat every day, should be a grass-based hay. So you want to basically make sure that they have unlimited access to hay all day long. The hay is vitally important to your rabbit's digestive system because it helps everything keep running smoothly. It's just very important to their diet. So make sure that your rabbit has unlimited access to this super healthy hay. The second most important part of your rabbit's diet is their daily fresh leafy greens. You want this to make up about 10 to 15% of their daily diet. This can be pretty much anything you could find in your farmer's market or your grocery store. You can even, a lot of times, grow your own fresh leafy greens for your rabbit. It can be anything from fresh herbs to salad greens. I'll be getting into some details in a little bit so that you know which ones to look out for. But most leafy greens are actually safe for your rabbit. Rabbit dry food pellets are the other 5% of your rabbit's daily diet. These add some nutrients to your rabbit's diet as well as some extra vitamins, and they tend to be really yummy for your rabbit to eat. But they do make up a lot smaller portion of rabbit's diet than most new rabbit caretakers tend to believe, so it's important to make sure you don't overfeed your rabbit on their daily pellets. You can give your rabbit some treats on a daily basis, but you do want to keep them to a minimum because too many treats will cause an imbalance in your rabbit's gut because all of that sugary starchiness can end up making the wrong kind of bacteria grow and whatnot. So it's best to keep any treats to a minimum. You also, of course, want to make sure your rabbit has an unlimited supply of fresh water. I'm going to get into the little nitty-gritty details of all of these categories so that you have everything that you need to know to make sure that your rabbit is well cared for and has a very, very healthy diet. Alright, part one. The most important part of your rabbit's diet is their hay. As I mentioned earlier, this is the most important part of your rabbit's diet. You want them to have a basically unlimited supply of hay. You never want them to run out. This doesn't mean you have to give them bales and bales of hay, but just make sure that, they have a big pile every day, and if you notice that it's running low at night, then that probably means you should give them a little bit more on a daily basis so that they never end up running out. Hay is really important for rabbits to munch on because it is really healthy for their digestive system. The high fiber content helps their digestion keep moving at a regular pace, which is vitally important for rabbits. And it is also very, very good for their teeth because rabbits have teeth that keep growing, and the hay helps them to keep munching and wear them down a little bit over time just by eating their daily diet. So hay is definitely the most important part of a rabbit's diet, and we want to make sure that they are eating a lot of it. Now let's talk about the different types of hay that are good for rabbits. Now, I mentioned earlier we're talking about grass-based hay. The main type of hay that you want to give your rabbit is really Timothy hay. This is the type of hay that is generally highest in the amount of fiber that it has, so it is the best hay to keep the rabbit's digestion going. It also tends to be the roughest type of hay, so it'll be much better for your rabbit's teeth. So the main hay that you should be giving your rabbit is Timothy hay. However, there are other types of grass-based hays that are also good for your rabbit to eat. Introducing these other types of hays and mixing them in with the Timothy hay can introduce variety so that your rabbit can get different flavors, and it can encourage their mental enrichment. And it can also give a variety of nutrients so that your rabbit doesn't just get the same nutrients from the Timothy hay every day, but they can be even healthier by getting the different trace nutrients that you get from different types of grass-based hays. These other types of hay that you can give your rabbit are oat hay, orchard hay, ryegrass, wheatgrass, meadow hay, herbal hay. Really anything that's a grass-based hay is going to be good for giving your rabbit. And if your rabbit completely refuses to eat their Timothy hay, because some rabbits can be kind of picky, you can still try these other types of hay to see if they'll eat those ones instead. If you do have a picky rabbit who's being really stubborn about eating their hay, then I actually do have a video that can help you out about some different techniques you can use to get your picky eater rabbit to eat their hay. So you can check that out if that is a common problem for you. I do want to talk about alfalfa hay, as this is actually very commonly found in pet stores, so a lot of people will pick it up thinking that it is okay. For adult rabbits, it's actually not ideal to give them alfalfa hay. And alfalfa hay is not actually a grass-based hay, it's a legume. It has a different nutrient content. It is much higher in calcium, it is much higher in protein, and these can end up causing some health problems if it's given on a regular basis to adult rabbits. Some exceptions to this would be young rabbits who are still growing, or underweight rabbits who need to gain weight in order to be healthy. In those cases, alfalfa hay is actually good and healthy, and you should give your rabbit alfalfa hay. Young rabbits under 6 months should be getting alfalfa hay because it helps them grow up big and strong, but once they reach 6 months, you should take a couple of months to slowly transition them over to the grass-based hays. If your rabbit is underweight, then you can also mix in some alfalfa hay with their regular Timothy hay, because that can encourage them to eat more and get them to a healthy weight faster. Alright, now let's get on to part 2. Let's talk about the leafy greens in your rabbit's diet. These are very important for your rabbit because they add nutrients and they still have quite a bit of fiber, they have water in them, and they also have variety and flavor, so your rabbit will really love them and they'll love sniffing them out and just munching them up. They are like a treat, but they're also super healthy for rabbits, so what a great combo. So this means you're going to want to get a lot of fresh leafy greens for your rabbits. They can actually go through quite a bit on a weekly basis. Now the amount that you give your rabbit is going to vary depending on how much they weigh. And I have a chart here so you can see about how much you should give your rabbit on a daily basis. This chart shows about the maximum amount that you would want to give your rabbit. So go through and look for what your rabbit's healthy weight is, and then see how much should you give your rabbit on a daily basis. It doesn't have to be completely exact. This is really just a guideline so that you can have a frame of reference so that you know how much about you should give your rabbit. So let's say you have a 4-pound rabbit, for example. You should only be giving them about 2 cups of leafy greens per day. Whereas if you have a large 10-pound rabbit, then you can give them as much as 5 cups of leafy greens per day. It really does vary a lot depending on the size of your rabbit. Now you also want to make sure you give your rabbit some variety of leafy greens on a daily basis, so you don't want to just give them the same leafy green over and over again. It's really good to kind of mix it up and then give them 3 or 4 different types a day is ideal. This gives them variety in the nutrients that they receive from their leafy greens, and it also helps with the mental enrichment, so your rabbit can be trying out new flavors all the time. So your rabbit can be much happier on a daily basis, looking forward to foraging through their yummy leafy greens every day. Most leafy greens that you can find in grocery stores, farmers markets, even in your yard, most leafy greens are fine. However, it's always a good idea to check to make sure that what you're giving your rabbit is safe before you actually give it to them. So let's focus on the kind of greens that you would normally find for human consumption. So things like herbs. They are great for rabbits and you can pretty much give them as much as they want. They are really yummy and every rabbit will have their favorite. So if your rabbit likes parsley, you can give them parsley. If they like cilantro, dill, rosemary, thyme, all of them are very good for rabbits. So those are great places to start and find variety, find your rabbit's favorites. Salad greens are also a good place to go to see what your rabbit likes. Things like kale, arugula, spring greens, most lettuces. The one lettuce that you want to avoid is iceberg lettuce. This kind of lettuce is basically just empty calories for rabbits, and it just doesn't provide any nutritional content, but they'll eat that instead of their hay. So if you're not getting any nutrients from it, there's not really much point in giving it to a rabbit. But other types of lettuce, like romaine lettuce, leafy lettuces, butter lettuce, things like that are actually okay for your rabbit. You can also give your rabbit the tops of some fruits and vegetables. So like carrot tops, great for rabbits. Strawberry tops, those are also great for rabbits. You do want to avoid any kind of tomato or potato leaves though, because those are mildly poisonous to rabbits. There are really a lot of choices for you and your rabbit to try and figure out the best ways to give them some of those yummy, fresh, daily leafy greens. Now let's talk about pellets in your rabbit's diet. A lot of people get this wrong about rabbits' diet and give them way too many pellets. Even me, I grew up giving my rabbits way too many pellets, so I understand that this is a mistake that people make because it seems similar to the way that we feed cats and dogs, but it is much better to make sure your rabbit has a hay-based diet than a pellet-based diet, and the pellets should really just be supplemental to their other foods. The history of pellets is actually kind of interesting in rabbits because originally rabbits started getting a pellet-based diet when they were raised as meat rabbits. The pellets were a way to cheaply feed rabbits so that they would gain weight very quickly. And so pellets still kind of have that effect in rabbits nowadays. If they eat too many pellets, they'll start to gain weight quickly and become obese. Over the years, as we started keeping rabbits as pets instead of as meat animals, we continued to give them this pellet-based diet that really hasn't been healthy for them. However, in more recent years, there have been some brands of rabbit foods that have created fortified pellets that have more nutrients and proteins and vitamins that are actually very healthy for rabbits. So it is still good to give your rabbit a little bit of pellets every day just for that extra nutrient-rich part of their diet. They can add some substance and be an important part of a healthy pet rabbit lifestyle, but we don't want to give them too much. This is especially true because pellets tend to be softer and yummier than the hay that we want our rabbits to eat. So if they have both pellets and hay constantly available, they'll tend to go for the pellets instead of the hay, and that's not so healthy for them. So since rabbit size can vary significantly, how much should we give our pellets? Because there's no really rule of thumb that's going to work for every single rabbit. So I have a chart for this one too. You want to give your rabbit about 1 tablespoon of pellets per pound of weight per day. So for a 4-pound rabbit, you're going to give them a 1/4 cup. And then for a 10-pound rabbit, you can give them a whole lot more, a 1/2 cup, and then an extra 2 tablespoons on top of that. Now remember, we're basing this off of your rabbit's healthy weight. So if your rabbit is overweight right now, you want to talk to your veterinarian and find out how much should your rabbit weigh if they were a healthy weight, and then give them their pellets based on that weight, that healthy weight. The other part of pellets that you want to pay attention to is the brand, the type of pellets that you give them. You want to avoid any type of pellet that has all of those fruity, colorful pieces in them, because those are either too much sugar or there's pieces that are just not healthy for your rabbit in them. Many of these mixes contain pieces of corn, peas, or seeds, none of which rabbits should be eating. So definitely avoid anything that is not just those plain, boring brown pellets. That's what their daily pellet should be made of. Now, once you have found some brands that have just these boring pellets, it is a good idea to check the ingredients. On the ingredients list on the back, you want to make sure that number 1 ingredient is Timothy hay or Timothy grass or something along those lines, because that's how you'll know that it is mainly made up of just ground up Timothy, which is good for your rabbit. Likewise, with young rabbits that are on an alfalfa-based diet, you want to make sure that their healthy pellets have alfalfa hay, alfalfa grass as their number 1 ingredient. The other thing that you can check to make sure that these pellets are healthy for your rabbit is check the nutritional content. On the back, kind of near where the ingredients are on most brands, they'll let you know how much percentage of protein, how much percentage of like different vitamins are in it. The three types of content that you want to pay attention to when you look at the nutrients in your pellet brand is the fiber content, the protein content, and the fat content. So you want to make sure that they have a high amount of fiber. You want to make sure that they have a very low amount of fat, and then the protein you want it to be about 12 to 14%. That's how you'll know that, yes, these pellets are ones that are healthy for your rabbit. If you guys are finding all this information helpful, then I encourage you to go check out my bi-monthly newsletter that I send out to give awesome tips and tricks about rabbit care so that all of us can have the happiest and healthiest bunnies with us in our homes. So you can check that out on my website at bunnylady.com/newsletter. And you can even get this free resource that I have that goes over all of the basic aspects of rabbit care so that you can make sure that you're getting started on the right foot, or even if you are a veteran rabbit owner, there might be something in there that you don't know yet. Go ahead and check that out if you're finding stuff helpful. Alright, now let's get into water for your rabbit, because your rabbit should have a daily amount of fresh water. Over the years, when rabbits were thought of as more cage pets than the companion pets that we're trying to think about them now, people started feeding them water through one of those water bottles with a spout. And this is not ideal for rabbits because it's kind of bottlenecks the amount of water that they can get. So it takes them a lot longer to drink, and it's less likely that your rabbit is going to stay sufficiently hydrated. So ideally, you will give your rabbit a bowl. This can end up being a problem with some rabbits because many rabbits like to flip over their bowl, flip over their food bowl, flip over their water bowl, and you don't want your rabbit to be left with no water at all. So there are a couple things you can do to kind of troubleshoot and see if you can get your rabbit to stop flipping over their bowls. And the first thing is to get your rabbit heavy bowls. So a very heavy water bowl that they just can't flip over. I find large dog ceramic bowls tend to be the best option. Make sure that they have a lot of water at once because it's a very large bowl, and since it's heavy ceramic, most of the time they can't flip it over. So that's a good option, one. You can also get the kind of bowl that clips onto the edge of an enclosure so that your rabbit is unable to actually physically lift it and flip it. I do find that kind of, they're still able to move it around enough that the water splashes everywhere. So that one's not always ideal, but it might work well enough. If you really can't find a solution that works for your rabbit, then a water bottle is an option because it is much better for them to have water all day long and not risk them flipping it over while you're away, and then, they don't get water again until you get back. So if they just keep doing that, then yes, go get a water bottle for your rabbit because they're not going to be able to flip that one over. Now you do want to make sure that it is a large water bottle, about 16 ounces or more, because rabbits can actually drink quite a bit. They can drink as much as a small dog that's like 4 times their size. So you do want to make sure you get a large water bottle so that they don't run out. You also want to make sure that the mechanism for them to drink from does actually work, because every once in a while you get a dud water bottle that's not working for your rabbit to drink from, and we want them to stay hydrated and healthy. So definitely check that and opt for a bowl if that is an option for your rabbit. You can also choose to have both a bowl and a water bottle. I like to do this just because then you give your rabbit a choice of how they want to drink. Most of the time they'll just go to drink from the bowl, but every once in a while I'll actually see Ellie drinking from the bottle, and maybe sometimes it's a kind of fun way for them to play around. So I give her both so that she has that option. That's just a fun thing that I like to do for my rabbit. Now let's get to treats. Rabbits have a serious sweet tooth. They love, love, love eating all of those yummy fruits and vegetables and the sweet treats, anything that you can give them. Unfortunately, this should not be a very large part of your rabbit's diet. Having too many sugary treats is just unhealthy. It can cause an imbalance in your rabbit's gut. It can cause their digestion to slow down, and that can end up being dangerous and cause health concerns such as GI stasis, or even potentially tooth problems such as tooth decay or overgrown teeth. So you do want to keep the treats to a minimum, but it is okay to give your rabbit some yummy treats, and you are sure to make your rabbit a happy bunny by giving them some of the healthier yummy treats. For the most part, the best treats for your rabbit are going to be fresh or dried fruits and vegetables. So, strawberries, bananas, carrots, yes, carrots should be a treat, not a main food. You can give them a whole wide variety of different treats. Papaya is a good one, grapes or raisins. These are all good treats for rabbits. If you're looking for bags of treats in a pet store, then you want to opt for anything that is hay based. So baked hay treats with just a little bit of fruit flavoring are a great idea. You can even get hay cubes that have like a little bit of alfalfa mixed in. Giving them alfalfa as a treat instead of as a main hay is still okay even in adult rabbits. You can also go to your grocery store and just look for anything that's in the fruit section, or look for raisins or other dried fruits to give your rabbit. But you want to make sure that you limit the amount that you give your rabbit on a daily basis. So while this is not exact and you don't need to be down to a T on how much you give your rabbit based on their weight, the approximate rule of thumb that you should use is about a teaspoon amount of treats per pound of your rabbit's healthy body weight. So for a 4-pound rabbit, that means you'll be giving them about 4 teaspoons, or a tablespoon and a teaspoon, up to that. Less is still okay, but up to that much, about. Whereas a 10-pound rabbit can have a bit more just because they weigh more. Treats are actually still a great way to bond with your rabbit and gain the trust of them, and it's a great way to train them and teach them to use their mind and have mental enrichment. You can have them forage for some treats so that they're using some of their natural bunny behaviors. Treats really can add a lot to a rabbit's life, and it's definitely okay to give your rabbit treats occasionally during the day. Just don't make it the main part of your rabbit's diet. If this information has been very helpful for you and you want to kind of look it over and take time to really digest it, then you can find all of it written down for you on my website at bunnylady.com/rabbit-diet. And you can see all of this information right now. I also have lists of foods that are healthy or unhealthy for your rabbit. And don't forget to check out my tips and tricks newsletter if that's something you're interested in at bunnylady.com/newsletter. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you next week.